Hey everyone, so welcome back to the Bag Lady Studios. I just wanted to pop on here before I did this video and tell you I hope you like it. It's got lots of new things for me and it's a brand new pattern. I've never sewn it before, so it could be interesting. Stay tuned.
Hey everyone, my name is Oscar, and Sherry, my mommy, is the owner of the Bag Lady Studio, and she wanted you to meet me, and also I wanted to tell you don't forget to subscribe. I can't wait for this video.
Alright, so the very first step, since I am not going to go ahead and I'm not doing the zipper pouch, the coin zipper pouch, and I'm not doing the card slots because I plan on using another wallet with this. So the very first step it's having me do after I cut it all out, which I have interfaced with some SF 101. This is the exterior front zipper pocket. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to locate where my snap is going to go. So I'm just going to line that up. And actually I think I'll flip it over so I can make my marks here. Go ahead and punch a hole here just so I have it. And guys, you know there's lots of different ways that you can make holes, and if you'd like to see, I know of about 3 or 4 different ways. If you'd like me to show you a short little video on ways you can make your holes for things like this or rivets, let me know in the comments and I'll put together just a little shorty video showing that. So I'm just going to line that all up. It's all nice and straight. I'm going to get my pen and I'm just going to mark this center hole here. Oh, with a pen that doesn't work. So let me get one that works. There we go. Put that aside. And go ahead and get my washer out. I'm going to lay my washer so that hole is right there in the middle. I'll just go ahead and get all of my snap parts out because I have not gotten them out yet. And a male, I need a female, and I need one more washer. Aside. Now I'll go ahead and just draw my marks on that. I also started cutting out whenever I had pieces that were big enough to use as scraps of like Decaville light or any interfacing. I started cutting them out and going ahead and making them into little pieces so that way when I needed them I didn't have to worry about stopping and taking a chunk off of one. I figured it would just be easier if I did it that way. Anything that can save you a minute. Alright. So now I've got both done. Go ahead and use my seam ripper and make my little slits. Watch your fingers. These things can definitely bite back. Alright. The pattern says this one's going to be the male part. So I'll just go ahead and push this through. Little pliers so that way I can flatten these, because that was one of the tips I think I shared before. If the fingers hurt and these are too hard to do, here's your key fob smusher, and that smushes them right down and you have no problems at all. Here we go. So that's already on there. And then I'm just going to cover this with just a little bit of glue and some interfacing. You could iron this down if you'd like. I don't find it's really that necessary, and I just use it over the snap. That's the only part I'm really concerned about. In fact, I got a lot of extra. This was a big piece I cut, so I'll just trim some of that off. I don't need all of it. Of course, trying to do it around a tripod again. There we go. Here we go. Let that dry. I'll put that aside. And now I just need to get my other piece that matches. Exterior front egg. That would be this one. Isn't this fabric beautiful? I love it. On this one, I did some SF101, and then I also did a little bit of fusible fleece, and I just kept it out of the seam allowance per the pattern instructions. This one I've already put a hole in it. I'm just going to line it all up. And we're going to repeat it for the other snap. The pattern also says 2 3/4 of an inch down. So before I go and cut into this, let me go ahead and check this and make sure if I am about 2 3/4. I am. I just wanted to double check to make sure I wasn't missing anything. And this is going through all of your layers. I need to get a new seam ripper. I think I've put that thing through my fingers so many times, it's a little dull. If you want, you can iron these on and not glue it. The problem I found, or what I've heard, is that it can affect the magnetic ability. So I usually don't do that. But there's those. So that's my lining, and that's my front. Okay, so now it's time to do the zipper. My zipper is cut per the instructions. And I got this really cool kind of rainbowy zipper I'm going to use. Put that aside. My directions say to place the zipper on the top, matching the right edges. Right side down, and the zipper pull to the left. So I am right side down, zipper pull to the left. Go ahead and grab my clips. I have not made this bag yet either, so we're making it together. Now it tells me to go ahead and baste this down, so I'm going to baste this down with my zipper foot with a 1/8 inch seam allowance, and I'll baste it down at about a 4 stitch length. I'll be right back. Okay, so the next step is to get the exterior zipper lining and place it right side down with the zipper sandwiched in between. And I'm just going to line up my side. Says using your zipper foot, sew along the matched edges using a scant 3/4 inch seam allowance. So I'm going to sew that and I will be back. And when I do this part, I always like to sew on the side that I've already sewn before, so that way I can make sure that I'm keeping my basting stitch up inside that seam allowance. Hopefully that makes sense to you. And that way, once I flip this and press it, you won't be able to see it. All right. Oh, don't you hate when you do that? I probably should have just zipped it or stitched it down. This is my least favorite part of doing a bag, is the zipper. There we go. Let me just even that up a little bit. I gotta even this up, and then I'm going to go ahead and iron this flat. So I've pulled both of my pieces, reinstalled my zipper, pulled both of my pieces. Now I'm just going to give it a quick press. And I'm going to top stitch right along here using a 1/8 inch seam allowance. Okay. So I finished my top stitching, and I did go ahead and tack down my zippers. No more losing my zipper head. Now I need to pull this up here, and I'm going to clip this, and I will sew this down. Make sure everything is lined up. Make sure you watch where that zipper pull is too. I've got a pretty big beefy one, so it's easy for me to feel it. If you can't feel it so easy, then make sure you're watching where that zipper pull is. I will sew this at a 1/8 inch seam allowance. Okay, so this next step has me place my exterior front zipper pocket top B. Oh, got a little mark. If you get marks from your clips, if you use a hair dryer or an iron on the other side with a pressing cloth, that usually will get those out. So here you can see I've attached, there's my pocket. Now it's telling me to put this right side down, lining it all up. I'll go ahead and move my zipper in. I'm going to line up my edge. Do a clip. Line up my other edge. Do a clip. And I will sew this one on this side down, feeling for that zipper and that zipper pull. And this is going to be sewn using a scant 3/8 inch seam allowance. Okay, now that that's done, I will push that forward. There we go, just like that. If you have vinyl, you just have to fold it. You can't really sew it. And then this will be top stitched. I'm going to go straight across here, and then I'm going to follow this down on both sides. I will be back. Okay, so basically I went in and I top stitched here, then I stitched straight down, and I closed up. Now my pocket is now closed on the sides. And I'm just going to make sure that I've caught it all. It is all caught, so I'm good there. So there's my zipper pocket. Okay, the next part is that where you put your mail snap for that lining. We are going to match these and pin. My points. Looks like I got a little more on one side. Just trying to make it nice and even. I'm going to go ahead and sew the curvy side using a 3/8 seam allowance. Once I finish that, I'm going to end up trimming my fabric to a 1/4 inch seam allowance and flip it right side out. Okay, so now that I sewed this, I'm going to match up that seam, have it lay nice and flat. Go up to this one, flatten it out. Need a couple more of these alligator clips. They work out really, really good. Now match up my wrong sides being together. Looks like my lining is maybe a little scant. That could also be because of having to roll it over that big seam. Flat side has less pressure, so it won't dig in and leave the teeth marks. Yeah, that fixed that problem. Everything's all lined up. So now I'm going to go ahead and top stitch all sides. I'm going to go all the way around. I'm going to top stitch from the front and just go slow around this curve. It's not a big curve, but you can always use more clips and just go slow. And then I will be back. She's looking so cute already. Alright, so I've top stitched all that on there, caught everything, it all looks good. Here's my zipper pocket. I'm loving this. Now the next thing is to do your connectors, and I forgot to cut my connectors out, so I'm quickly going to go off camera. I'm going to cut out my connectors, Now I'm not going to attach my connectors the same way that the pattern does. I'm going to show you how I'm going to attach mine. And this is not anything I have done, so it may be interesting. Okay, so the instructions said to use the exterior fabric. I actually wanted to use my vinyl. And it tells you to lay a piece of tape down the center. So I could mark my center at, it's 2 inches. So I just need to mark my center at a 1 inch. So line that up. Grab my super sticky double-sided tape. Now since I'm using vinyl, I'm not going to stabilize this with anything. I could if I wanted to, I guess. Going to fold each side right up to that line. Now for each one of these, I will top stitch 1/8 of an inch and down all 4 sides. Okay, so the pattern calls for D-rings, and I decided I wanted to use these really nice rectangle rings. So I'm going to go ahead and I will slide it in here. And then I'm just going to stitch straight down here, and I will be adding a rivet to this also when I'm done. So make sure your right side is in. You're going to really want to get this as tight as you can to that top. So make sure you're using your zipper foot. When I'm doing it, I tend to pull so I can get it right up to that line. So the directions for these say to go down on your gusset side. I'm going to go down 1 1/4 inch. I'm going to pick up my ruler, 1 1/4 inch, and that's where this edge should sit. So I'm going to go ahead and go down. There's 1. I think I'll use this ruler. I think this one's a little bit better. So there's 1 1/4. So I'm going to find it on here. My 1 1/2, right here's my 1 1/4, and I'm going to line that up all the way across. And using my chalk, just going to put a little line there just so I kind of know where it's at. And then this is where this is supposed to sit. Now what I want to do is I want to make a hidden. So I'm actually going to cut a slit that is going to measure the same as my pieces, which should be 1 inch. So right on that line, I will go ahead, find my center. Center. From that center, actually I think I'll lay a line on it. I want to get this perfectly lined up. Got this even on the sides. I have this going along my line. Now I will mark my center. So there's my center marks. Now I just need to have 1 inch. So I want a 1/2 inch on either side. There's my 1/2 inch, here's my inch. And I want this nice and straight. And I'm going to use my X-Acto knife. And I'm just going to go cringe a little bit because I don't want to mess this up. That's the way I cut through it. Let me go back through it one more time. I bent my X-Acto knife. Now I made the cut. Alright. Looks like it's not quite at 1 inch. But I don't want it to stretch and be pulled. Just go tiny, give it a little nudge. See how that does. There we go. So that'll work. So ultimately, I actually have it probably up a little higher than what I wanted because this is actually supposed to be down here. But I think that it'll end up fine. If not, then I will just end up cutting another gusset. So now for this, I am just going to stitch right along that seam. I am using white thread if you haven't noticed, and that's just so you guys could see my stitching. Ultimately, if you really want this to look professional, you would put this with your matching thread. So I would switch over to a blue thread, and I'm going to go ahead and I will do my white thread right here, and then I will end up putting a rivet in here also. So that's how that came out, which is really, really cute. I'm going to go ahead and I will put a rivet in here, and then I'm going to repeat it for the other side. And I think just one rivet will do, and this strap will not go anywhere. There are some really good videos on how you can do this where you have your edge finished. And it's very easy to do. You'll just cut an extra piece of the vinyl or your fabric, and you'll sew it here, flip it under, sew this one this way, and then flip it in. And then that ends up turning in your edge, and it's completely hidden. But it's a very nice, easy, professional looking way to do it. Okay, to make sure that my rivets are the same on either side, I've already punched the hole for my one. I'm going to line everything up. I'm going to just use my stiletto, and I'm going to go ahead and poke it through. And then that'll give me my mark on the other side. And then I'll punch that through. So for the next part, I'm going to grab my lining zipper pocket facing L and my lining zipper pocket M. So here is the facing. I'm going to turn it over, and I have stabilized it all with SF101. The directions say to go in 3/4 of an inch from the end. So let me go ahead and find my 3/4 of an inch. There's that side. And my 3/4 of an inch on that side. Now I'm going to go 3/4 of an inch down from both the top and the bottom. So I'll line it up with my lines on my ruler. Quarter, half, 3/4. Do the same on this side. There we go. Now that opening will be right at 1/4 of an inch. So I'm just going to line that up. Line down the center. Draw your points. I'm going to put this aside for right now. Now the directions say to place it lining piece right side up. Place your zipper on top of it right side up, matching this top edge. Now I'm going to stitch a 3/4 inch or 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'll be back. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to flip my zipper. I'm going to put my right sides are going to be together. Line up my sides. Different than any other way I've done this, so hopefully it is right, because again, I haven't done this one before. And it says sew this exactly the same way, so I'm going to go and sew this and I'll be back. Okay, so now that I did both sides, there you go. It's saying lay this wrong side up, and you're going to press the zipper handles away from the zipper. So I will pull, and then I will press this away. Waiting for my iron to heat up. The struggle. If I said how much I love that zipper? It just glitters and glows. Now I need lining K. Now remember, I have not done card slots or coin things or any of those other options that are in here. I didn't do that. These are both just exactly the same. I'm going to get my zipper facing, and it says this goes down 1.5 inches. So there's my 1.5 inches. And if I want to, I can center this by notching or marking. I think I'll just mark my little heat eraser. And then this one, I think I will notch. There we go. So 1.5 inches down, which is right there. Line that all up. I'm gonna line that up with my center mark. I'm going to sew along this outer box. That box right there. And I will be back. Okay, so I went ahead and I sewed that down. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut that center line and the V. People have lots of ways to do this. For me, I just fold it in half get it started, because you're cutting through all those layers of material. And I just use my little snips, and then from here I'll go up to the V and go right up to that stitch. Get as close to that stitch as you can without clipping it. And if you happen to clip it, it's okay. You don't need the ice cream yet. Just go back in there and restitch the side that you clipped. It'll all be fine. Now you're going to push everything through to the other side. I always just fiddle with these. Some people find it better to go from one side or go from the other side. Depending on your material, it depends on how hard it is. Stabilizer makes it a little bit more tricky. It just doesn't want to go sometimes. Throw a clip in there to hold it, you can. And then I'll end up ironing these down. Got a little pucker there, you can either go back up there and snip it. Sometimes if you just kind of wiggle it and stretch it out a little bit, it evens right up. I am going to iron it. And the goal is to have that seam right in the middle. But I will go ahead and I'm going to iron it and press it all out. And it will make it lay a lot flatter. Amazing what the iron will do. Looks better right there. All done. My seams look good. Now I will be putting my zipper in. So now I will lay this here. What I'm going to do is put my double-sided tape on my fabric, line up my zipper, and then lay it out. I always put my double-sided tape on my pocket and not on the zipper. I used to put it on the zipper, and then I had problems with every once in a while you would see it if I didn't stitch it close enough. So I stopped doing that. Make it as even as you can. Take into account you do have your zipper pull. Get to my other piece of double-sided tape. There it is. Now I'm going to stitch all the way around, making sure that this other lining piece is up and out of the way. So if your zipper opens, you should be able to see clear through the bottom. But I'm just gonna do a top stitch all the way around this. Again, make sure that that is out of the way, which it should be. I'll be back. Okay, so the pattern tells you after you do that to flip this over, and you're going to have extra fabric here. Use this top one as a guide, and you're going to trim away whatever you have extra. I'm also going to go ahead trim down some of my zipper. that. That works out perfect. So the directions say to fold the bottom edge of the zipper pocket 3/8, and I'm guessing that's probably about 3/8 right there, and press. So I'm going to do them both at the same time. I'm sure this is just to make it easier when you flip it to top stitch it closed. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to sew from this side, but we're going to pull this up and we're just going to enclose all of this on the sides and on the sides. And you don't have to do the top because it's already sewn with the zipper. Just make sure you're not getting this. You're pulling this out of the way. Okay, so the next part we're going to do is going to be the lining zip pocket. And basically, we're going to pin these together. I don't need that one yet. Lining zip pocket. We're going to pin these right sides together. Sew along this top edge. So once you sew it, you're going to go ahead and press it, and then you'll go and do your top stitch. Alright, so now it says pin the remaining to this, matching everything up. I'm going to clip. Then I'm going to go ahead and sew this down. If you like to do a halfway, a divider in this pocket, you will find your center and you will stitch down that. I will probably go ahead and do that also. Okay, so for mine, I did a double stitch here all the way down. I also realized I have not put my label in yet, or my bag tag. So I think I'm actually going to put my bag tag centered right here. I could either do it there, or I could do it on the zipper pocket, but I think I'm going to do it on this one. I'll put it right here. Went ahead and had that centered and sewed that down. So that's looking really, really good. So now we're getting to the part that I've been anxious about since we started. And that is going to be the gusset. But here we go. We're going to get started. So I just realized I've skipped a step. So I have my snap in here, but I have not attached these two pieces together. So I had to go back and look and see where I goofed on that. And I see it. So I do need to go ahead and it says close the magnetic snap, pin it together, sew along the 3 raw edges. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to skip off of here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sew along these edges and close that up completely. Then we'll get to the gusset. I know I've said this before, but oh my gosh, this thing is going to be so cute. I can't wait. I cannot wait. So there we go. There's my pocket there with my snap. There's the zipper pocket. I love this. I love this fabric. I think that vinyl came out beautiful. But now time for the gusset. Alright, so it had me mark the center point for my gusset, and then the bottom here. So we're laying this right side up. And my gusset will be like this. And I'm going to match this notch with my center here. And I think I'm going to be pinning the crap out of it. I'm going to want to reach up here. Match this to my top. Not with that. Match this one to my top. I think this might be the first one I've done with a gusset. I'm going to flip my connectors down just to make sure they stay out of the way. I notice they're sticking up and kind of annoying. Probably why I should have had them down a little bit further. Lots of clips. Now you do have some bulk right there because you have your zipper. And I'm just going to clip until I get down to the curves, to the tricky part. Same thing here at the bottom. Alright, so they suggest that you can clip little notches here to help this lay flat. So I'm going to get my scissors. Just snip right in here, and I mean I'm just doing ever so far in, not far in at all, and then that's supposed to help it lay flat, and it does. You can see they open up, and you'll just kind of smoosh it all around there. Trim the little notches here, and you're only doing this on your gusset piece. You're not doing this on your front piece. Your front piece doesn't have to move. It's the gusset that's got to kind of spread open there. Got a little bit of a humpy here. So we might have to move this and scooch it up just a touch. or something along the way just didn't line up. Alright, so I'm going to sew along this at a 3/8 inch seam allowance. Wish me luck. So, oh my gosh, I did it. I did go around it twice. Oops, sorry, I just hit you. But oh, that's going to be so cute. But I went around it twice. That keeps your stitches from popping out and showing on the other side. So let me see what the next step is. I just found a loose thread. Snip that. Let me see what the next step is. Okay, so the next one is going to be to repeat the same thing I just did, but for the other exterior piece. So start here at the back. Or at the bottom. I found my centers and notched them. And I'm just going to go around and clippy clip, just like I did before. And I'm going to sew it like I did before. Wish me luck. Oddly, it's easier to do it on this side. I don't know why. Now I do think it's going to be challenging to sew this because you have this to stay out, to keep out of the way. But I think I'm going to sew it like this and then bring it around, if that makes any sense. And keep that down on the bed and then work my way around. That's my plan. I'll let you know how that works. And if I wish I could show you the sewing part, I just haven't gotten a way to, without resetting all my cameras up, to show you the actual sewing part. I am working on that. I need to get another camera for that. Okay, so I went ahead and did both the gussets, and I thought I'd take a little sneak peek just to see what it looks like. And I really like it. I really like how those side connectors came out. I think this is going to be my new purse. I'm so excited. But now I have to do the same thing I just did on the outer with the lining pieces. So I would definitely suggest flipping it out, making sure you didn't miss anything. I found a couple spots where I didn't miss it, but it was pretty close to missing it. So I reached in and I marked those spots with a clip. And I'm going to go back now and I'm going to just kind of reinforce some of these areas here just to make sure that I'm not missing any of the pieces. Okay, so now I have my lining gusset piece, and I'm going to go ahead and snip my center. So that's marked. And then I have my two pieces here. already marked the top for lining up my pocket. Let me mark the bottom here. And let me mark the bottom of this one. Do just exactly what we did before, flipping along the sides. I do find it helps if you kind of push that bottom into the gusset, so it's almost like you're making an upside down bowl. It's a little bit easier to get it to lay flat. And I think the reason why it works well with the second piece is because there's already so much bulk holding it up that it makes it form that bowl on its own. So when I finish this, I'm going to go ahead and I'll stitch this together just like I did the last one, and clip my second part, and we're almost done. Now I have not made my strap yet. You may or may not see it with the strap done, I'm not sure. We'll see how much time I have tonight. Okay, so we're all the way to doing the zipper, and it's telling me to fold down this corner, and then I'm going to tack it down right here, and I'm going to do both sides. Let me do that, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I did that. It's not pretty, but it's done, and then I tacked down this side. Now it's telling me to make a mark on the exterior gusset top edge 1/2 from the side edge. So let me pinch these two together so that they're together here. And make a mark 1/2 from the side edge. So it's measuring from here to here. So 1/2 inch from the side edge. Get my chalk. Right there. Okay. Alright. It says place the finished exterior on the table so the front side is up. Pin the prepared zipper to the exterior front, starting from the mark and matching the top raw edge. The zipper should be right side down, and the zipper pulled to the left. So that was good to know. Right side down. Zipper pull to the left. My curve isn't all that great, but I'm going to go with that. My guess is that I'm going to have to stop right at that line. So let me double check. No, so we're going to actually go kind of off the zipper. It looks like I'm going to stitch, 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 stitch. And I'm going to let the zipper go, but keep stitching to here. That's what it looks like in the picture. All right, I'll be back. I'll let you know. So I did goof because I was actually going to make a recess zipper, and I cut it out for the recess zipper. But I've already sewn it on here, so I'm not going to redo it. I'll just leave it. I think it's fine. It's still going to be beautiful. So there's that part. Okay, so doing this other side is a little tricky because you have to unzip it and you want to make sure that it's all not wonky. So like I can test it by flipping this around and flipping this around and see how that's going to line up and zip. So before you get too involved in sewing it, double check it and make sure that it's going to line up. Because I almost goofed. And it looks like it's twisted, but this is going to go this way, so it'll be facing up. This is going to go this way, so it's facing up. So basically you're doing it the same way you did the other side, so you want the zipper head down. If that helps you remember. So flip your zipper head down and flip it towards you. Not away from you, but flip it towards you and down, and then it should be just fine. And then you're going to sew it just like you sewed the other one. Okay, so I have it in there and I checked it and everything is right. I am going to go ahead, I think, and top stitch. I'm thinking. It doesn't say to. Okay, so I guess I'm not. The top stitch the entire top opening. Okay, it does. It just says it somewhere else. And it has you doing it, it looks like at the end. Yeah. So we're going to assemble a bag before you top stitch, I guess. Which that's cool. Final assembly. Alright. It says unzip this pocket completely. And the main zipper closure. Top zipper completely. So that's all unzipped. The bag goes in the lining. I think I'll do mine this way. Place the exterior right side out inside the lining, wrong side out. It does say it. I just missed it. Make sure my little side things are down. All right, I think now I just have to start pinning. So this one actually hasn't been a hard one to birth because I didn't do as much vinyl as some of them. So this actually has not been hard to do. There goes 100 clips all over the floor. Oh well. Alright, let me just push out my lining. Here's my pocket, so I'll end up top stitching that, but for now I'm going to just stick it in there and then get my lining back in my bag. Fits really, really nice. There goes a few more clips. Oh, it fits really, really good. Alright, there's my zipper. I like. Now I am going to put a zipper end on this. Actually, I like that. That really looks good. So I think what I have left to do is I have to top stitch, which I think could be a little bit of a challenge. Top stitch this whole front. This whole top here. Let me do that and then I will be back. Okay, so I don't have a zipper end. So I'm going to make one. Let's see here. Oh, I don't think I want that. That's got Decoville on it. That's that. So do I want to do this or do I want to do vinyl? I'm just going to do it with vinyl. Let's see, I think I have a scrap of vinyl here. So if I wanted to come to here, go ahead and sew that here, here, here. Let me think on this. Okay, so to do the end of it, I still have a thread to trim, but I just did some vinyl. I folded it in the edge of my zipper tab and then sewed down this vinyl. So now that is done. And I just need to finish my strap and then we will be all done. Okay, so I did my rivet. I put my slider on. I riveted and I put my end on. I probably should have flipped it the other way. Those things are a booger to get on. Okay, so I've got my connectors all on. And now my bag is complete. That. So there we go. Isn't that beautiful? On the inside I have my 2 slip pockets. Then I have my zip pocket. On the outside of this bag, you've got your magnetic pocket here. And then you have another big zip pocket there. So let me know, what do you think? Hey everyone, so that was an awesome video and an awesome purse. I hope you enjoyed it. I learned so much. That was the first time that I've ever done a gusset, so I think it came out really, really well. And it was also the first time I did the hidden connectors. I think that came out really, really well. Overall, I think I did a pretty good job for a first time making that bag. Never have tried it before. Great pattern, great designer. This is a great beginner bag, and almost any bag you purchase from that designer, and the link will be either up in the cards or it'll be down in the description or both. But every pattern I've ever seen from them, very clear, very easy to read. I had hardly any issues at all reading a pattern, and I'm not a pattern reader. I mean, before I started making bags, I never read patterns. I designed diapers, cloth diapers, and that kind of stuff much further below, or, you know, long ago, whatever that is. You know, words are hard sometimes, but I designed my own stuff, so I never read patterns. I made some kids' clothes, but I never read patterns. I could kind of look at things and figure out how to do it. So doing zippers and patterns and all these crazy things with vinyl and stuff, I had no experience with until I started making bags. But this is a great bag to make. I can't wait to make more. I think my next bag I might make may be some kind of a backpack. So make sure you're subscribed. It's free. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified. And I just figured I'd give you a little around the campfire or campsite tour. I'll just do a little swoopy swoop. We are full-time camp hosts here at this campground in Kansas, and we absolutely love it. So there's where I'm at. So everybody have a great day. Thanks for watching. And remember, just keep sewing.